So hi everybody, a very good afternoon, good morning. How you doing? I'm Jashin Kapani. I'm the founder and CEO of I'm Decor and Design. We're in the business of designing and manufacturing home and office decor and interior solutions and stuff. So it's midweek. Looks like we're catching up on the heat in Delhi. So it's not that great, but anyways, you kind of focus on the preventive stuff. Stay indoors, stay air conditioned, dress appropriately, have ORS, coconut water, watermelon, depending on what age you're at and stuff. Avoid nibu pani, exercise a lot, and sleep if you really want to sleep. If you're lucky enough to be kind of getting that break and stuff, and there are these simple fundamentals of kind of having happiness and joy and feeling good in your life, and this is one of those, having a simple thing like coffee. So it would be great to be in a five-star hotel, or it would be great to be in a seven-star hotel. It would be great to be doing this and that. But the point is, those expensive places don't happen to you all the time and stuff. So happiness and rejuvenation and stuff doesn't depend on external factors or environments or spaces or places you're in. You can start where you are. And I'm saying this because, I see a lot of people are kind of motivated or inspired to have these luxury experiences and stuff and earn a lot and stuff, but they don't focus on the basics of everyday life which are happening at home. You don't stay forever in a hotel unless and until you kind of own a hotel or whatever. Or there are many friends who check into hotels and stuff because they want to take a break from the mundane work or whatever, or they're on a holiday. So how does happiness, or how does joy, or how does feeling good and everything and feeling great kind of multiply? You got to start from where you are, right? So my share is on this, which is also I see in this book. So it seems like a lot of sharing that I've been doing off lately are kind of in tandem with a lot of authors and people that I've been reading and stuff. So that's great, because it means that there are other people out there who think exactly like me and similar. So the author's talking about emotional fulfillment, and the author's talking about goals to set up, which are actually about enjoying something in the present, then going in the future, chasing, running, racing, competition and stuff. So all of that is not necessarily depending on what job or whatever profile you're in, but actually if you really want to feel good, we're talking about feeling good, we're talking about feeling great, we are talking about achieving milestones in health, we're talking about everyday happiness, everyday something or the other which kind of multiplies that health or happiness or joy, or kind of wanting you to kind of be a part of an experience, even if you're not in a expensive place but you're at home or office. Okay, so let me share what it is all about. So this is about emotional fulfillment. People focus a lot on the external fulfilled and stuff. Yeah, we've heard this. I'll get this car, I'll be happy. I'll have that house, I'll be happy. You've heard this. I've attended a lot of these forums where they talk about this. But the point is, if you're not feeling that great, so whether you're in a Mercedes, or whether you're on a plane, or whether you're in a Bentley, or whether you're in a regular car, whether you're in a Innova, whether you're in a Maruti or whatever, you're not going to enjoy it till the time you don't feel good and great. Okay, so it's all about feeling, it's all about kind of acknowledging what it is, and it's all about taking action on that, because that's what kind of helps you grow into a better person, and that's what helps you kind of have better experiences which kind of help you bounce back. So let me give you an example. I've been in the gym yesterday, and I've done some other exercises which I've not done for a while on my neck and my back, and I woke up not feeling that great and stuff. And I'll be honest with you, I work, so for me my work is a priority and stuff. So besides the regular stuff that I do in the morning and stuff, I just couldn't get out of my bed because my neck was paining and my back was paining. And I was thinking about, oh my god, this is just about one exercise I've done, and now I need to kind of get back doing a lot of other stuff. So rather than going forward with that, I was like, okay, let me just slow down, let me just take it easy, let me just be in my retreat of my own space, and let me just kind of first get better, feel better, and then I'm going to bounce back with maybe more energy, and I'm going to give more energy to the stuff that I'm supposed to do, and that's what I'm doing now at 3:30 when I would have started actually at about 10:30 or whatever. Okay, so health is really very important, and I'm reminding people this because you may be younger, you may be older, you may be any stage of your life, you got to take care of yourself and stuff, because with work, exercise and health is equally important. And the authors are talking about pick up where you left. So if you have, let's say, certain hobbies which you've not been doing, and working is no excuse, everybody does. So finish the books that you started, finish the music recording that you were doing, finish the theater you were in, clean the cupboard that you'd been holding on to cleaning and stuff, wear the clothes that you've been wanting to wear, not waiting to lose weight and kind of getting fitter and stuff, because it's all starting with feeling happy now. Okay, and body changes, shapes changes. I am a live example here. I mean, I'm like, yeah, of course, feeling better and fitter and stuff. And a lot of my friends who met me after 6, 7 years, they tell me I look the same. But the point is not about looking, the point is also about feeling, because definitions change around appearances and stuff. It's not just about boobies, it's not about booties, it's not about skin, it's not about hair, it's about the overall management of health and beauty and stuff. And you may be the most beautiful and the most gorgeous person on this planet, but if you don't behave well, if you don't express yourself well, if you don't conduct yourself well, then all of that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I would rather be friends or rather be with people who treat people nicely and warmly, and they are nice, and they are kind of in control on how they are and stuff, because I think you leave an impression on how the world is and stuff. So the author is also talking about seeking out ways to appreciate people the way they are and not what you want them to be. So if you're expecting someone to change for you, the question is, would you change for that person? I mean, if you expect someone to kind of be brash or be rude or misbehave or whatever, are you trying to tell the person that the person needs to do that because you do that? And if you don't talk well yourself and you keep telling other people that they don't talk well, is that fair? That's not fair, right? So the point is, rather than expecting people to be what they are, it's better if you focus on what you're doing to yourself and what you're doing to improve yourself and stuff. And that really helps, because as you kind of focus on your communication, you focus on expression, you focus on how you present yourself, how you dress up, how you conduct and self, people get influence and they absorb a lot. And believe me, people who know you, how you are and stuff, will acknowledge the fact that you're changing, you're evolving. What you were, let's say 20 years back, is not what you are, because what people are in their 20 years hence are also not the same what they were many years back. So that's the change you have to acknowledge and understand, that people change, they cannot be the same every time, and depends on age also. So then she's talking about making time for friends. You are kind of focused only on roles in offices and jobs and stuff. How about kind of counting the people who are alive in your life, the friendships and relationships that you have in your life? Do you have enough time to give? Do you have enough richness in your life that is a luxury of time to spend with those people? If I were to ask you to kind of give a week off work and spend time with your loved ones, will you be able to do that? If you can't, then forget about the harping of monies and corporate pedestal roles and stuff like that. It doesn't help. I mean, if you've got a child or a relative in the hospital and you're not able to make a call to them or meet up with them, then I think all of that is just a farce that people are living and stuff in the name of jobs or whatever, because whoever has to make time for their relatives, for their friends, for their sisters, for their siblings, for their children, will do it if they have to really do it. Okay, so each day write down one thing which your body was not allowed to do, and do it. I think I'm going to go on video 2 because it's getting too long, so please follow me on video 2.